Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Power Hour. On today's Power Hour, we are talking about your special gifts, the gifts you possess to help other entrepreneurs and to help make the world better. We all have these. I have public speaking abilities and I have some tech abilities, and I like to play music as well. With these gifts, I can help the world, but it's not just about me. It's about Rick, Callan, Chris, Cheryl, and Mr. Carl here. So I want to start off, this is an open discussion. We're talking about the gifts that you possess as an entrepreneur that are uniquely your own that can help others. Talk about how you've used them and talk about how maybe you've helped other people learn them, anything in that realm. Let's start off.
You can go ahead. Rick?
Sure. I can start.
Yeah,
And Kareem says, "Quit saying right? I'm still discovering my gifts as an entrepreneur, and because we're going over that in our Pay Me What I'm Worth class, and sort of looking at all of our stuff. Like I've been on the internet for 20 years, and I started out as an email marketer, and then I learned how to make web pages and stuff like that. But I'm not like Kareem. He knows what his gifts are. Like he said, I have a gift in speaking. Listen to him. He certainly does. And I am not exactly sure what my gifts are as an entrepreneur. Now, one thing that I do know is that I know how to set up my life where I don't need a lot of money, where I don't require a lot of money to keep going. So I think that may be one of my gifts, is that I got the crap beat out of me so many times by listening to conventional wisdom and methodology that I've just developed my own. That I just don't listen to the people that aren't living the lifestyle that they should be living. Like I've shut them off basically, and because I figured out how to live the lifestyle that I want, and if they can help me do that, then that's great, But so I believe that one of my gifts is setting up a lifestyle so that I don't need a lot of capital to run my business and to be in profit and to feed myself. I think that's probably my biggest gift as an entrepreneur.
And yeah, that's definitely a gift because a lot of people are convinced, especially in our Western society, you need to have a big screen TV and a big house, and you need to keep working to sustain more and more stuff. Get more and more stuff. That's what your worth is. And to find someone who can find a way to do exactly the opposite of that, that's definitely a gift. I'm working on that myself. I wish I could stop buying computers and laptops, but I'm working on a way to create income, for myself so I can sustain my lifestyle without having to work for quote unquote the man. But Callan, I know you are very good at writing books, and I want to hear maybe about some of the expertise that your book has brought other people.
Yes, absolutely. Kareem, thank you for having me on. So when it came to writing, it just came to me naturally because I started excelling in English class. And I did that very well, and I finally realized, wow, I can actually keep at it. Since throughout middle school, high school, I always got A's in English though. But I think what's more important is not so much about kind of the structure, the grammar, but how can you convey your message to be able to connect with the audience, with the people out there in the world, because a lot of people have a lot of information out there, but what makes sure it's different? What makes sure is to be able to connect with your audience, to inspire them, to empower them, to be able to reach their finish line. So I wrote the book based on that thing. I wanted to help people to be able to reach the finish line in their careers. Since the Great Recession, I've helped over 2,000 people reach the finish line in their careers. A lot of people, they're kind of in multiple situations, or several situations, rather. You have single moms, you have disabled people, you have people with different backgrounds, you have dropouts. That's kind of the theme I did. I wrote the book, and the book kind of very comprehensive, and it helps people from all different backgrounds. So if a person hates their job, which unfortunately only 30% of Americans actually like their job, well, the book is very helpful to find them a career that they're passionate about, something that aligns with their passions. If they don't want to be an employee anymore, if they want to transition to be an employee to entrepreneur, the book also serves of that purpose. Or if they're a struggling entrepreneur, let's say they're inspired and they're starting their business, but they're still having problems. They can't really get off the ground. They can't really get turning a profit. Well, I also do that as well. So, like I said, for anybody, you don't have to be like me. You don't have to get all A's in English in middle school and high school and college. You just start. There's writing classes or things like that as well too. But there's a lot of books that are written in different styles that are just conversations. You don't have to be a great writer to be a best-selling author. There's lots of examples that prove that.
Wow. Right on, Calvin. If your microphone, the one on your headset, if that's the one that you're trying to use, you're gonna have to click on. There's a cogwheel right up at the top of the screen next to the Google icon, and you go to the right, and it's gonna have a settings menu pop up, and you're gonna want to click on whatever your headset microphone is, because it sounded like you were recording through the desktop or speaking through the desktop microphone. Just so you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
that's fine. I know you have a headset and the mic is right there, but it sounded kind of distant, so I just wanted to let you know that in case that was what was happening.
Okay. Let's
It's not a
see.
big deal, I guess. I just, it'd be a lot easier to hear you if it was, if the microphone right next to your mouth was working. But so
Yeah.
I guess for myself, some unique special gifts that I have is I'm really good at reading people, and I'm good at doing YouTube videos when I feel inspired, and I'm pretty good at bringing people together, I would say. And I'm a pretty good writer too. I mean, me and Kareem are working on some books together that we're going to get published, which is going to be very exciting for us. And just being here every week and doing this show, there's our book right there, one of our books that we're going to have coming out through Lulu as soon as we get the money together to get us published. It's pretty exciting for us. And also, I feel like some of the things that I specialize in are being determined to succeed in my life, and hopefully I can inspire others to feel that way themselves and to keep persisting no matter what gets in their way, because I think that's very important for people, is to know that they can reach whatever goal they want as long as they work very, very hard at it. So anyway, next person want to go? Somebody else have anything to add?
Kyle Davis.
Okay.
I believe my major gifts that I have, I've been told this downstairs, and we have a store, and I can sit there and I can see, people walking into, and I say, hey, what's up? And everybody's looking at me kind of strange. Well, you don't know that person. I've seen him in here, and I say, hey, what's up? And they come back and they say, hey, what's up? It's a little short conversation. But I believe one of my gifts is being able to speak to people in public. I have a great passion for speaking with other people out there on the street. And I believe you need that to be an entrepreneur. You need to be able to have that passion, compassion towards others, even. When you turn around and you say, how you doing today? Like one guy particularly, he come up to me and he says, how you doing today? And I says, I'm fantastic. He says, you inspire me. Never really tried to inspire somebody, but that's one of my gifts. I can inspire people to join in just as Chris does.
That's good. That's good, Carl. Cheryl, do you have anything you want to say, or somebody else?
There I am.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Hi. I guess that probably one of my most used gifts would be that I write and when I write things and distribute them around on different networks and everything, a lot of people, will comment and everything that I write from the heart. And I don't know how to write any other way, so it just comes out that way. But other than that, just trying to get people to feel how life is and be able to get out there and enjoy it and just feel the love that it has to give back to you.
Wow, that was really powerful in the sense that if you write something like a great classic that touches people, you can influence others for generations, which is one reason I think what Callan and what you're doing, Cheryl, is really powerful, because it gives people a choice when they may have thought there was no choice. As entrepreneurs, that's the first stepping stone, is to realize that you have a choice regardless.
Well, it's funny because my wife doesn't consider herself an entrepreneur, Kareem. And I remember when I first met her almost 30 years ago, and she had more money in the bank than anyone I knew because she was so frugal, owned her own home, owned her own car, had a job, and then had a business on the side. She was making these like Christmas things and dolls and stuff like that, selling them at work where she had basically a market to sell them. And if that's not entrepreneurship, I don't know what the hell is. I mean, when we went to Costa Rica, she got a job doing something that she loved, taking care of dogs for like weeks on end, where they were feeding her Americano food, man, and she was living in a mansion practically, watching TV, eating pizza and ice cream every day. No, that's not creativity and entrepreneurship. I don't know what is, but she doesn't recognize it in herself really. But she's always been an entrepreneur, and I've used her to model myself after a lot of the things that she does, because everything she touches and believes in just turns to gold. So, she was selling fake Cabbage Patch dolls to the people at the hospital. Cheryl, how many did you sell of those Cabbage Patch kids or whatever the heck they were?
Made 40 of them.
40 of the damn things, right? Did people want more of them?
Yeah, but I couldn't get them.
Yeah, he couldn't get the heads or the buys or something like that. And then she was like making these sheep and stuff like that. So her entrepreneurial skills are more in physical objects, if you ask me. Besides, if you go look at her blog, listentosoul.com, no pun intended, listen to soul.
That is his real name.
Yeah, well, that was our blog name before that we even knew this dude. All right, we had a blog. We still have a blog called listentosoul.com, and Cheryl's blogs on there more than most people that I've ever seen. I mean, she has hundreds of blog posts on there about Hawaii and about her life and the things she makes, the craft she does. She's not really money orientated, but she's very entrepreneurial. I mean, she made mango jam from the mangoes that I picked off the side of the road. She makes lilikoi jam that we could sell for like $25 a jar if we wanted to. No ways, we eat it all. So you get the picture. She just doesn't recognize it in herself. I mean, she makes the jam for like, I don't know, $10 maybe it costs, and her labor, and we pick the fruit for free. I mean, isn't that entrepreneurship?
Oh,
I would say so, yeah. I think the problem we have is we look at an entrepreneur and we're like, well, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, and they are. But the guy making jam at his house, or the guy blogging about how to make jam, or the guy blogging about how to get out of your 9 to 5, that to me is as much as an entrepreneur as the guy sitting behind the office coding the next Xbox game or the next new thing or the next Facebook.
Yep.
Right.
Entrepreneurship is freedom.
Yes, I love
Freedom, brah. That's what entrepreneurship is about. Is it freedom to think the way you want, freedom to do what you want, and freedom to do it when you want to do it. That's what it's all about, man. And anything else, that ain't entrepreneurship. That's slave labor, baby. You're sitting in the office all day, like this? Come on. That's not an entrepreneur. I mean, that's like a corporate CEO dude. That, you know, he can't even. He has to ask to take a crap. I don't. I just go downstairs.
Actually, Callan, I wanted to ask because I know that touches. I watched your interview on YouTube with Jeff, and I want to touch upon like the stuff that these guys are touching here. Now, you're in Mexico, right? And they have a different like mode of entrepreneurship there too. They don't look at it the same way we do in the West, right? Can you expound upon that?
I would say it's very similar. I would say actually it's probably much more easier to become an entrepreneur. And like I guess they would call it a developing country. Mexico is getting more and more developed, though, probably far ahead than other countries. But I would say it's very similar. It's probably even easier because there's not a lot of regulations. So if you have a lemonade stand, the government's not going to shut you down. They're not going to make you. They're not going to have you apply for multiple certifications or licensings or all the other kind of regulations you have to go through. There's a lot of people, expats I've known here, or just locals in here in general. They have an idea. Say, oh, this would be a good idea, and they just start a business. And it takes about, for them, like a week. They don't have to wait to hear back from the Secretary of State. They don't have to wait for a certain license, or
Yeah.
they just start. And a lot of these businesses are very successful, even on a small scale. For like especially like parents, especially like a mother and father trying to provide for their family. I've talked with several locals who do pretty good. They make about $200 a week, which is probably not a lot in the U.S., but down here that's a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
And especially when you factor that the minimum wage here is $375. So they're making essentially twice, double. And like I said, it's just simple as as we're talking about entrepreneurship, finding a problem and using your business model as a solution. So I think entrepreneurship is kind of very similar, universal. I don't think it's necessarily has huge differences. I just think it comes down to the ease of starting an entrepreneurial venture. And like I said, places like Mexico, a lot of developing countries where regulation is not harsh, it's much more easier to do well. Expats, I know several expats here who've came down here. They didn't have success of starting a business in the U.S., especially when we live in places like California. But coming down here, they had lots of success. I know an entrepreneur has a very successful restaurant, 7 years, and he tried to use that same model in the U.S. It was unsuccessful. So that's not saying that you can't have a successful business in the U.S., because you can. But what I'm saying is the whole idea of entrepreneurship is universal, and in other places, those opportunities can be more abundant.
Yeah, and I think I like WordPress for that reason, because now if you have an idea, let's say the Secretary of State or whoever says, no, we deny your permit. Then you take WordPress, which is something I'm learning, and make a website, Cheryl's Jam, or learn how to be frugal with Rick, or learn how to be persistent with Chris, or learn how to make connections with Carl, or learn how to become free from your 9 to 5 with Callan, or learn public speaking with Kareem. And I actually have a website similar to that, and I think that's awesome, because we all have these gifts that school says, no, you can't. You have to do A, B, and C, get a degree, and then find something. Instead, we could just go WordPress and pop up a site. Hey, we can sell, Hawaiian Cabbage Patch dolls for $2 and make a living.
Yeah, I think most cases, if you start a website anywhere, you're not going to really be bothered, especially if you're just starting off small. You just start a website, www.whatever.com, and you try to monetize it. Usually, you won't get picked on initially, at least in most places. But that's a great way to get started. That's what it starts with. You need to have a website in order for people, in order for your potential customer to take you seriously. Now down here, that's kind of different, because sort of like kind of 10 years behind when it comes to things like that. So it's definitely a different type of I guess wave, but when it comes to the U.S. especially, or any other developing country, having a website is very important because that serves as your home. If people want to check you out, they want to know what your website is, and a lot of times if you don't have a website, your customers are not going to take you seriously. Your potential customers, rather, they're not going to take you seriously. They're not going to think you're a real brand. So, as you said, Kareem, starts out small with WordPress. Personally, I use Squarespace. Squarespace for me is a bit easier. I'm not very tech savvy or astute. I know they have WordPress.org, WordPress.com. For me, Squarespace Squarespace is so easy. It's like a 4-year-old can create a website. So to me, I'm always working on multiple things. So to make the best use of my time, like I want something like dumb easy. So that's what I use.
Yeah, no, I've used Squarespace. It's awesome. But yeah, I like the fact that you're all writing, and most of us are writing or getting our ideas out in some way, so people can really see that it's not all a cookie cutter method, that we all have awesome talents we can give everybody. And yeah,
I think a lot of people tend to doubt themselves. You talk about talents, and we all have talent. A lot of people have to discover what they are. The subtitle of my book is "Discover the Champion Within You," and it's with all of us. You have to find kind of what are you most passionate about, and then how can I monetize that? And it could be anything. You just have to be creative. You have to be creative. You have to be strategic in that. But absolutely, I think a lot. And see, I think in order for a person to arrive to that, they have to kind of get in here. A lot of people have mental baggage, whether it's the procrastination, whether it's low self-esteem, whatever it is, and they have to break through those barriers first if they want to be successful. Setting smart strategic goals, using resources to develop themselves personally, things like that.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. When I started this show, before we got people, it was just me and Chris. There were times I was doubting. I was like, "Oh, I can make an excuse. I don't need to do this. It's too hard. We don't have enough viewers. Why keep making videos?" And even I found that there's ways to monetize. If we keep going, if you don't doubt yourself and sit and say it's impossible, you can make money off of anything, in my opinion. Even, funny enough, there's even a website called Twitch. You can make money playing video games and people will watch it. That's how crazy stuff is. But, well, what do you think of this, Rick, Chris, Doug? What do you think of just getting an idea and going?
I think it's awesome. I like to give props to the young man. I don't exactly know how to say his name. Is it Kalen?
Callan.
Is that how you say? Callan, I'm sorry. I'd like to give props to you, man, because it's so inspiring to see a young individual that has it together, up there, and then is demonstrating it too. So you give me a lot of inspiration, you guys, because sometimes I look around and I think, what the hell are these people doing? But then I see guys like you, and I get to hang out with guys like you and Carl and Chris and Kareem, and it gets me excited again and gives me inspiration, and we all need that. So thank you. I appreciate that. And then coming from Mexico too, that's just like so cool. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on these guys' show. I appreciate you being here. I learned a lot from you.
That is awesome to have you here, Kalen.
Yeah, to be of service.
It really is to watch young entrepreneurs starting off. It really is so inspiring to me as well, Rick. I can feel you're on that. I only just wish that I would have been where they are at their age, and I'm sure that's the way you feel. The knowledge that they've already possessed, it's just right off the scales, and if they continue where they're going, hey, they're headed for the top, and there's just no stopping them. And the point is, at that point in time when you're starting off with 2 people and you're saying, hey, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? You get kind of discouraged. But these guys, they says, we're hanging in there. And look where they are now. They've got many videos, many of these power hours that have been shared that have getting thousands of views. And it's only just begun because it takes the teamwork to make the dream work. And if we're all working at the same thing, hey, the power hour is going to the moon. There's just no stopping it because people are looking and saying, these guys are young and they know what they know. Well, I want to know how they know what they know. And I want to hang out and find out how they do things. That's how people learn from somebody else's talents. And entrepreneurs, that's how you share with entrepreneurs. Because everybody needs the knowledge. And I'm just so appreciative of, the young people that have decided to step up and say, hey, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I'm just proud of you, just as Rick is, and I'm sure as Cheryl is. Because you're standing out amongst the masses. And awesome to meet you, Caleb.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. I think what's important is having a mentor. To kind of backtrack and then go back to it is a lot of people, they watch something and they get inspired and they say, oh, I'm inspired, I'm going to do it today, and then next week, they feel deflated. I think what helps to continue that momentum is having a mentor, someone who's obviously more successful than you are in whatever aspect. That could be, money, that could be love, whatever, and have them to hold you accountable. So basically, you see where they're at. Okay, you see they're successful, and that's inspiring you, and that keeps your momentum. But usually, I feel like most people, what they do is, like I said, they may watch a documentary, and watch a YouTube video, and then, like I said, they get this boost of inspiration that lasts for like a week, and then after that, they kind of just revert back to the way they are. So I think having a mentor is very important. And personally, I have a mentor, and he was very instrumental in helping me to be able to succeed. And like I said, I think more people will be successful if they have one.
Yeah, Chris is actually my mentor when we met. So he came up with this idea initially. I did some of the technical work behind it, but he does some video editing. I'm doing some tech stuff. So it's interesting. Is there a huge, I use a filler word, you can get me on that. Is there a huge difference between us in what we know? He has some skills and I have some different skills, but we try and hold each other accountable as well to make sure that we start stuff on time, that we get people in here, that the content's good, and that the newsletter goes out, that the technical stuff gets done and the video stuff gets done.
Yeah.
That's all leadership qualities. That's all leadership qualities. Like Kareem, he threw down that link. I was waiting for that link, and he was a leader and put that link in there. And it's just like Chris. I've seen so many of his videos come out there, and there's always knowledge in every one of them, no matter if it's a short one or a longer one. And I keep sharing them because he has something that people need to see. And it's just that's why we all need to work together to make sure everybody sees this, because they all need to see it. They all need to feel that powerful energy that we possess together. Because combination of all of our energies is right off the scale, as long as we're putting it there. And that's what it is. We're having the excitement. I just love the excitement that Kalen has. It's just great upbeat. It's great. He knows his knowledge, and he's great upbeat about it.
Yeah, and I think what's important. Well, when we look at mentorship, there's two forms of mentorship. Okay, so the first form is free mentorship, and where you just find someone to mentor you for free, and that can work. Probably it's not as effective depending on who you are. It can be effective, but most of the time it's not as effective. The other way is when you put skin in the game, and that's when you put your money where your mouth is at, and you could take that in two approaches. Now, one approach you can take is you can pay someone to mentor you. There's a lot of people out there. People pay sometimes hundreds and thousands of dollars to mentor you, but for them, that keeps them motivated because they got skin in the game. Got skin in the game. So they're motivated, and they're paying out hundreds or $1,000 each month. Well, for them, if they will stop if they will stop with their entrepreneurial venture, well, they're going to be taking a huge loss. So that's what keeps them motivated. Another way, something that I do with people is I say, the alternative is I would say, okay, well, I'll say, pay me this, but if you're successful, then you get the money back. So that way, at the end of the day, it's really a win-win. So again, holding the money forces them to be consistent, be inspired, be motivated. But then at the same time, once they're successful, I'm just happy to give them the money back because at the end, my goal is for them to be successful. The money issue is not a big thing for me. I like to help people reach their finish line, and but at the same time, sometimes people need an initiative, and usually money is always initiative. So by forcing them, let's say $500, $1,000. Okay, for some people that's a lot of money. Whether it's, let's say, every month or whatever, that's a lot of money for some people. But by them realizing that, wow, okay, I got to get serious because I'm giving up this a certain amount of money each month, and if I don't stay consistent with my goals, then I'm gonna take a huge loss. And like I said, for me, like I said, the money's not an issue thing for me. As long as I see them successful, and that once they are successful, I always give them the money back. So that's kind of my approach. But like I said, those kind of three ways when it comes to mentorship.
That's a really cool way of doing it, actually, Ken, because you're forcing people, in my opinion, once you give them something for free, they don't value it as much. But if you have to make them fight for it, like, that would be a great way to get people in shape. Be like, you have to pay me $1,000, and I better see six-pack abs. You better show me, like, your development. And then if they get it, just be like, hey, here's your money back, and you're in shape. Just to, like, scare them. Yeah. It's almost like the idea of putting the lion, he's on a treadmill, and you have the steak here. It's just like I'm going to get that.
Yeah, for sure. And now that's not something I do with everybody because I only have so much time. But the people that I stay engaged with, and I say that they're serious and they're hungry for success. I do offer that from time to time with people. But absolutely, I always believe in giving value and helping people to be able to reach their finish line. So I mean, there's now for the other people who charges, let's say, $1,000 a month and you don't get your money back, I mean, that's still a value too because you're still putting skin in the game. It's just for me, trying to get a way to give back to the world. Like I said, I don't need the money. So like I said, if a person is successful, I'll be, once they meet their metrics, meet their goals, I'll be happy to give them money back. But it's a 3-strike rule. That's the clients I work with, it's a 3-strike rule. So basically, it's 3 strikes and you're out. And then if they strike out, then they don't get their money back. But if they are successful at their end goal, then like I said, I do give them money back. So just one of many ways of mentorship.
I should do that actually. Most people be like, "You're gonna show up on the Power Hour. Give me your PayPal email address." And if they show up, just be like, "Hey, guess what? Now you're an entrepreneur. You're on your way, and you get your money back." It's an interesting concept because people have it in their heads. Oh man, I'm gonna go broke. What do? I better get good at this fast. Where people can be complacent. And I was actually in a program, no names, where it was just free, every day free. And I started to take it for granted because if you give everything for free, everybody takes you for granted. You don't make anything. But if you charge something, even if it's for a service, some people why do people charge $100,000 just for an hour of their time? Because you'll be committed.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's the thing, because most of the time, if you work with someone, you're not necessarily going to get like the secrets or some some revelation. Most of the time, I mean, the advice may differ a bit, but the high cost is the motivator for you to be successful, for you to reach a finish line, for you to accomplish your goals. That's really where the motivator is the money, But yeah, I think that's where. And for me, that model has been very successful. And like I said, every kind of a business person or I guess guru or whatever you want to call them. Everyone has their kind of way of structuring mentor programs, but again, it has been extremely successful, and it's something that I continue to do. For me, I do it works. So as long as it keeps working, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, it definitely does. Because I've never had a coach like, even, I haven't paid really coaches that, but the coaches I've worked with, they didn't like transmute lead into gold and teach me like a book on how to. They had sound advice. It made sense, but it wasn't anything groundbreaking. It just made sense what they were doing, and the money, the little bit of money I was paying, went back into the skills that I was growing into. So it wasn't necessarily like these coaches are supermen, or there are good coaches. I'm not saying they're bad coaches, but they just had basic advice. But the motivator was just that money to get you going. It's interesting. I don't know. What do you
Absolutely.
think, Chris?
Well, I think that all of this is very paramount to success as an entrepreneur. You know, you need to have people around you who are going in the same direction, and you need to provide value for people. You need to make sure that you are keeping up to date with what's going on in the lives of the people that you're getting close to, that are working with you on your dream. It's a team effort, so I really like what Callan's been saying, and it's very informative. So thanks, Callan.
Sure, and if I could just say another thing, the problem is most people what they'll do is they'll buy something called a book, and they say, "Oh, well, yeah, this book's gonna get me motivated." And they'll buy a book and they'll read it, and they'll tell all their friends, "Oh, this is a great book," and they'll tell about how awesome it is. They think it's going to just change their whole world. But what happens is that book sits there and it collects dust, and it collects dust, and it collects dust, and that person never takes action because it's just a book. For some people, $10 is not a lot of money. So they say, "Oh, I'll pay $10 for the book," and they read it. They may enjoy it, but then it sits on a shelf, or it sits in their room, or whatever. See, that book is not a motivator. If you spend a certain amount of money that doesn't hurt you much, then it's not a motivator. $10 to most people, it's not a lot of money. They'll buy a book for $10, and they may read the book, but they'll forget about it. But you're paying, I don't know, let's say if you pay $1,000 for a 3-month program, or you're paying $100, $200 a month. If you're paying money that's kind of hurting you a little bit, that's where the motivator is at. And like you said, Kareem, now again, the advice may differ, and probably with, I guess certain people in your industry, maybe the advice may be basic, may not be kind of much more helpful as you thought it would be. Like I said, that could vary depending on industry, but the money is the motivator, and I'm quite sure the other advice can also be supplementary as well. But that's the important thing, is finding something that's going to force you to put skin in the game, finding something that's going to really drive you, to motivate you. And for most people, a book doesn't do the job. For most people can afford $10, but chances are they'll read the book, it'll sit on their shelf, and like I said, they'll just go back to doing what they've always done. So finding what that is to really motivate you, that's what it comes down to. And like I said, for most people, it's money.
And funny enough, I wasn't paying a ton of money when I lost my job, but when I met Chris and his mentor, Marcia Sortino, they gave me this book, Think and Grow Rich. It costed about $10. Hey! But I didn't have a job, and then there was this part about writing your desires down. And most people think, well, that's not practical. The universe doesn't move things. You apply and you get a job, right? That's normal. That's the normal way. But at that time, I said, ooh, I really need this now. I'll write it down on a piece of paper. I'll have fun with it. It's not real. It's fairy tales. That's the way I was thinking. So I write it down, and then I get a call, and then I'm no longer there. But I got the specific, and I've got the specific jobs I want, and the specific income I want, funny enough, either matches or goes higher. And I'm thinking, this really isn't crazy, but when you don't have something coming in, you have a little skin in the game that, ooh, I need to get something either to keep going, or I need to write down my ideas from this book. And I'm like, write down your desires and the time you want to achieve them. I know a lot of people who are so practical they won't do it, but they're so practical that the things that I've popped in my life, they want that, but they don't get it. So it's funny. They'll sit there and complain about it, but they won't take the action. They'll let this sit on the shelf because I haven't bought. I've told some people to get this. They get it, and it just sits on the shelf. I'm like, did you try it? They're like, nah, I just got another job. Okay.
Yeah. And
That's-
Kareem, you have that problem, and as well. Now, some people may say, okay, well, what if I'm broke? What if I'm unemployed? You know, what if I don't have any money to you? Well, okay, if that's the case, one thing you need to do is you need to use that book as a mentor. So like for example, there are several books that I constantly read. I have a mentor, but I also always I have like a set of books that I read over and over and over again, and that's something my mentor advised me to do. But if a person has no money, they're unemployed, they're broke, then that could be a good option. Let's say Think and Grow Rich, which is an excellent book, and that's actually part of the set of books that I was talking about. So take Think and Grow Rich, read it over and over and over. Of course, apply the things that it says in the book, but read it over and over again. Once you finish, read it again. And you finish, read it again. And keep reading it. As you read it, it's going to motivate you. It's going to inspire you even more. And that's something you can use in lieu of a physical mentor, especially if you don't have any money. But bottom line, there's no excuse why anyone can't be successful or be able to reach the finish line. Like I said, it goes back into here. It's something in here that's holding them back. Like I said, it's low self-esteem. Maybe it's what their friends think. Fear of success, fear of failure. Those are two big problems. Some people think that if I become successful, I'm gonna lose all my friends. No one's gonna like me. Okay. But some people think, if I fail, then I don't want to keep failing. So in order to avoid myself from failing even further, I'm just going to get a 9-to-5 job. So those two problems there, and the goal is to be able to kind of get away from that. And like I said, those are two options. Whether a person has money or a person doesn't have money, there are still options that the people can use to be able to reach their finish line.
And yeah, I totally agree. And there's two things I'll just add to that. One is, I guess I have this, I don't know, it's like a spiritual, it's not a religious belief, that the universe, God, whatever you believe, will, even in times when you're broke or whatever, because most entrepreneurs, most very successful, like Donald Trump has been bankrupt 4 or 5 times, have been broke, have been bankrupt, no business, in negative, completely in the red, and they pull it off. What's my excuse sitting here and say, it's so hard, I can't do it, I don't have time, my internet or whatever. So that's one thing. And I think if you get the mindset that you're going to succeed and work at it each day, even if you're broke, eventually you'll start to see changes. And I know that Think and Grow Rich has changed the way I look at it, because, okay, maybe I do go broke. I still have my friends. I still have God. The universe is going to guide me or get me out of it somehow. And I'm not saying make impractical decisions and say, well, the universe has my back. But if something goes wrong, you can say God, the universe, spirituality, whatever you believe. I'm not saying you can believe whatever you want to believe, but that's, to me, as an entrepreneur, has been an integral part, that the same force that's guiding the planets and the stars is also guiding me. I don't know. Without me sounding too crazy.
My take on the book scene, I don't know if you want to hear. My take on the book scene is, seems like I was putting out a free ebook. Great. Bragging that book up. Never read the book until the very end of it. But anyways, I learned enough by listening to everybody's takes on it or whatever, what they were doing in the forum, and I learned enough. But you can read a book 1,000 times, but if you don't apply the action of what it says, think and grow rich. Think. Well, you can think all you want, but without that action, it's not going to happen. You can think it. You can put it in your mind. It's just like self-talk. Say it over and over and over and over and over. It's in your mind. But are you taking action for that?
Yeah, that's very important, Carl, because, we sometimes people just sit there and let it collect us, like Callan said, and we need to take action. But Callan, it was great having you. Do you want to have any closing remarks? I know you said you have an interview in 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of the advice I gave, I hope it was of value to you and your audience,
Oh, yeah.
Kareem. It was a pleasure to meet all of you, the other guests that's on the call. I'll be happy to connect with you on Facebook or LinkedIn, whichever you prefer. But they can check out the website at reachingthefinishline.com. I have a podcast there. It's where I interview a lot of successful entrepreneurs. I had Matthew Lesko. I had Peter Sage. I had Shai Reshef, which is actually the president of the first U.S. tuition-free accredited college.
Wow.
So a lot of great guesses I've had on. So check out that podcast. Also, you can check out my YouTube channel as well. So reachingthefinishline.com. I also have a newsletter too. So if you want to sign up for that, you're welcome to do that.
Definitely, man. And you're invited back anytime. I'd love to have you.
Awesome.
Whatever Saturday we do it. Saturday at 5 p.m.
Colin. Yes, we would, Colin.
So rock on.
All right. Like I said,
Awesome.
it was a pleasure, guys. Like I said, if y'all want to add me on Facebook, please do that. I'm happy to connect.
All right, man.
Thank you.
All right, Kaylin. You rock,
All right.
man.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Wow, that was good.
Chris, you've
Man,
been kind of quiet. Any
Really
thoughts?
great.
Anything?
That guy's really great.
I've just been listening to everybody, man, you know. I do a lot of talking, so I figured I'd listen for a change. You know, so, well, I just think that, you know, once we get our books out there and we keep having people on the show, it's going to get bigger and bigger, and I just wanted everyone to know that we want everyone here that keeps coming, and we need permanent people on the panel, as well as some new people would be nice every week. So yeah, that's where I'm at with all this. I'm just thinking about everything Callan said and Carl said, and just kind of taking everything in. So
Just take it to the street, bro. Just take it to the street.
Take it to the
Take it to the meeting.
Carl's gonna have like the Entrepreneur Power Hour with a billboard, like, "Joey, get on
Hey,
it."
let's take it to the streets. Let's take it to the social. Let's rock it.
You know what? If Facebook ever went down, I swear people would do that. They'd like come with billboards, like, "Want to see my vacation pics?"
Oh, of
No.
course they would. Of course they would.
There'd be people like taking pictures of ice cream with like, "Look, I went for ice cream. I took 9 pics. I also went to the gym today." Woo! I'm like, no.
yeah, I think it would be pretty pandemic if Facebook went down.
I still don't get it. Why anyone gives a rat's about that? I don't get it. Sometimes it's cool, like somebody says they went somewhere and ate some ice cream or something like that, and I think it's really cool because I've never been there. I want to eat some of that stuff or whatever, but most of the time I'm just going, what the heck? You know? Sometimes it is cool, like some of the ladies that I have on there, they post they take their kids to the river, and it makes me remember that my mom took us to the river and stuff like that. But a lot of it is just like superficial, sort of weird. Oh, I got a new iPhone. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
I don't get it, you know.
That's why I fear like social media collapse. Just for that reason, because like we're entrepreneurs would be fine, but everybody else, in my opinion, like who's not trying to use their gifts or anything, I feel it would be scary. Like,
Yeah, very.
hey, you want to hear what I did? Look, I'm gonna write a big story about everything. I'm like, no.
Very scary.
It's amazing to see because Cheryl and I started on the internet in 1995, and it wasn't anything. And they were saying that I was trying to sell stuff right away, and they were saying that, well, we're not going to sell stuff on the internet. And I'm like, yes, we are. They want to market on the internet. You know, I'm like, oh my goodness, we're going to have to. And then, you know, as it went, we started making money on the internet like 3 weeks after we logged on, and I didn't know how to even run a computer. I put it all together. To ask Cheryl, I put it all together. I'm like, I'm gonna be a millionaire on the internet. And Cheryl goes, I got a $5,000 computer at Sears, right? because I saw this dude like running a mouse like this and clicking on stuff. I'm like, I can do that. And I brought it home and put it all together, and I go, Cheryl, how do you turn this damn thing on? She goes, oh my God. She goes, the button's right there, dude. And she comes over and like turns on. Didn't you, Cheryl?
Yes.
Wow.
See? And then like within 90 days, I was making money every day, like 50, 60, 100 bucks a day, every single day.
Baby. That's rocking.
And it was from doing a service to the community, just like you guys are saying. It was exactly from that. So I know what you're doing is working, and it's going to work even more as you keep at it. So that's how I know.
I couldn't
Anyway.
have imagined made money that time because I dial up and I had to talk to Darth Vader every day.
I had dial-up, dude, but I'm creative. I rented servers in different countries, you know, that weren't on dial-up, and I controlled those servers from dial-up. How you like that for a non-computer sucker? You know? That's how you do it, bro. That's how you do it. Didn't I, Cheryl? I rented servers in India, China, Pakistan, and I used those servers to run my business because I couldn't even get on the internet. I was on dial-up, you know?
Yeah, 'cause someone picks up the phone and your internet's like, oh man. Then you gotta get back in and listen to Darth Vader.
Oh.
Welcome, you have mail. Yay, let's play a game.
Yes. Yes. And like I was too cheap to buy a laptop, Kareem. So when I went traveling, I lived in Wisconsin, and when I went across the country, I would take my route from public library to public library to public library, and do all my work on those T lines, bro. Right? I didn't need dial up. I was on a T line at public library. Ask Cheryl. You know,
Yeah,
I
we
go in
could-
there. I go. Go ahead,
We
Cheryl.
would drive a certain amount, and then we would say, okay, that looks like a big enough town now. That would have a good library that would be open the hours that we needed to be open. And he'd go in there and sign up and sit
Air
there.
conditioning.
Air conditioning, yeah.
T line.
All the way from Wisconsin down to Florida,
Awesome.
quite a few times too.
Yes, and then there was some people that said, "I'm sorry, sir, but you can't use the public library for business purposes." So then I figured that out, and I said my name. You know, I'm a doctor, so I carried a briefcase, and I said that I needed to go online to contact my customers or patients, whatever you want to call them, and they'd always give me a room to myself. And where I had an office, and I had my own phone line, and I had an internet connection. Every public library I went in after that, so it was so cool. And it really showed me that that when you use your imagination to be an entrepreneur, man, you can do anything. Because all the way there, the first thing I was worried about is, oh crap, how am I gonna be online and contact the people that I need to contact, and while I'm going across the country, and that it worked really well. And it worked well when I was staying in Florida and surfing. I'd go to the public library every day because they had dial-up where I was staying.
I'm gonna be a doctor too. I'll be like, I played Operation. Can I get my own office and leads and everything? I'm pretty good.
There's all different types of doctors. You guys probably be like my friend, a doctorate in music.
Can I be a witch doctor? Like,
Yeah, sure you can. Why not? It's a free world.
I could come live in Hawaii and be with the tiki gods. Like, ooh.
Sure you can. As long as you wear chains around your neck like Chris, then you can come.
I'm not wearing.
Oh, he's not wearing his chains today.
Not around yet, anyway. I gotta have a shower and stuff.
Well, I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to be on the show, and Cheryl too, and
Cheryl didn't say very much though.
No, she did realize that she's an entrepreneur. She just became an entrepreneur today. No, I'm kidding. She's been an entrepreneur for as long as I can remember, but she doesn't consider it that. You know what I mean? She's very good at making something out of nothing. Really, to be quite honest, I mean, right now I'm trying to get off the entrepreneur hour so she can take a little bit of flour, a little bit of coconut oil, and make me 24 tortillas, man. Right? Like if you went to the store, where do you buy homemade tortillas in Hawaii? Dude, that ain't happening. So my wife makes them, you know. It costs her a couple dollars and like 3 hours of labor, but
What do you put in them?
whatever we want. Like usually rice and beans or, you know, whatever.
I think he means what you put in them to make them, not what you put in them to eat them once you get them done.
Oh.
Oh, that is what I'm asking. What do you?
Yeah, you want to know what you put in them.
Yeah.
Okay, puts in anything, yeah.
When we have like an entrepreneur power hour cooking show, it'll be like, "Hi, we're with Cheryl." First, she had some.
We could have an entrepreneur power hour cooking show. Why not?
Yeah, I'll make popcorn. I'll be like, "Here's my microwave."
Yeah, I'm spoiled, and everybody wonders. Cheryl baked and cooked and everything for me for almost 30 years, and I'm still skinny. But I got totally spoiled, and recently we've actually sort of turned the corner on our diet, and we stopped pretty much eating the GMO stuff, and we bake almost everything from home. We don't eat hardly any packaged foods, and we don't drink city water. We only drink water from the sky, and we filter it, you know. And it's, you know, I've drank filtered city water all my life, and it's actually very different not to be ingesting this vibration, because there's a lot of drugs and hormones in that stuff. You can't filter that out.
That's why I buy spring water from the store and refill my jugs all the time.
Yeah, that would help. Yeah, that would be good, definitely.
Nestle.
Yeah. But I like I was saying, I appreciate the opportunity that you guys have given us to come on here and.
Well, we always want you guys here every week. I mean, that's the goal, right? Get people on.
Yeah.
Without you guys, I mean, it would just be me and Chris again. Like, hey, Chris, what do you think of like? Well, my gifts are special. Yeah, mine are too. Woo! Hey, and then people will be like, what's going on? And that, you know, we started that it was just me and him. And I'm like, oh boy. And then we started to get some people, and they dropped off, and then they came back on, and now I'm seeing that we can really do a real revolution here.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, you are. You're starting a revolution, and it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, well, of course, man. You know, we do this because we want to help people. So
and I've learned so much from you guys. Like Chris and Kareem take the time to school me almost every show, and I've learned so much. Like about, you know, Chris was teaching me about metal and what a movement it is. I never realized it seriously, that it was a social movement, and why that they were doing certain things, you know, and why it was the way it was. So it really opened my mind to other things, to start looking like, wait a minute. You know, when you think a certain way, and then you look at a certain way, and you don't really talk to people that are actually in it, you don't really have the real perception of it. I still don't, but I have more of an idea of what it's about. You know.
Rick, no worries, man. It's not for everybody. You know, that's the beauty of it. It's not for everybody.
Yeah, like surfing. It's like surfing's not for everybody, dude. They see us going out there and craziness, and my wife's like, "Oh no, that doesn't look like fun to me. I'm not going out there." She don't even go near the shore. She don't even go down to the beach. She doesn't want to see us crazy suckers going out there, risking life and limb for adrenaline rushes. You know, she don't like that.
Does she swim in the ocean though? Cheryl, do you swim in the ocean?
No, I didn't even learn how to swim until I was like 30, so I don't have the confidence of swimming in the ocean. A still lake I can do as long as I know where the bottom is, but no, go out there as much as he wants. I don't worry about it because I know that he can handle himself and everything, so that's fine. And all those crazies that go out there and get thrashed and smashed on the bottom, come up with sea urchins on them, and no, they can do it if they want. I'll go for my walk.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
She goes swimming in Kona. When we go to Kona, she'll go in the water over there. It's more like a lake and flatter and like safer. when we go over there, she'll go in, and we have some hot ponds over here. She goes floating around in, but the water's usually rough on this side of the island, and I like that. I like the rough surf. And
Yeah, of course you do.
yeah, it's just like how the music that you like, that's the same thing. You like that hard driving freaking stuff, that's what I like. That's why I live here. The energy too here, Chris, the name of the place is Puna, so it means life spring, and it has an erupting volcano, so we're so close to like prehistoric energy. I mean, we were choking the other day from the fog coming off the volcano, the sulfuric acid. So it's like we're living in like I don't know, it's like really trippy place to live, and it's not for everyone. This island is not for everyone, just like metal, just like you're saying.
Yep. Well, I want to come out there sometime, though, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Everybody wants to come here and check it out.
First, so I can fly, Yeah. Yeah. Where's Kareem?
I don't know. I think he might be feeding his birds.
We're still alive, and he took off. Oh well. So
he's right there. He's there. He's gonna end the show pretty soon. I know.
I know. I'm sorry. I just had to go get my parrot and make sure he's okay.
See?
Where is he?
He should be on the panel.
He should be on the panel.
Heck yeah! He should have his own laptop. You got enough of them over there. You said. He should have his own box, man.
I will. I'll just put on Mises, what do you think of being an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
I can actually go get him.
Go ahead. We're still alive, but that's cool. I don't care. Now he's going to get his bird. Oh, look who came just in time, too. It's going to get his bird. One of my cats. It's like, ooh, bird?
Cat, I could.
Yeah, she's in a tuxedo.
What do you think of specialized knowledge and what are your special gifts to the world? What are you good at? Are you good at stuff? Are you a birdie? Say something.
Being a pretty birdie. That's it. Special.
Right when you got your bird, my cat came into the room.
Yeah.
One of my cats did? Yeah. It's weird.
Well, that's some irony. Yeah, welcome to the entrepreneurial world, Cheryl.
Oh, thank you.
Next show, special gifts of animals as entrepreneurs. How did you start your first?
Now it's legitimate. All that other time you never thought you was, but you are. So therefore, be what you are.
Yeah.
Well, people keep trying to drag me into the entrepreneurial world, but I don't know. I do a lot of different things, but I've never really sold them. I've mostly shared them just to get the vibration out there that I do care and to share things with people, but I've never really sold too many things for profit.
No, you probably give what you sell.
That's why we're learning how to receive, because she would just make stuff and give it away, but she's an expert seller. She was the top seller for Boar's Head when she got a sampling job, and they were just, they sit at those supermarkets and just pass out pickles and stuff like that. Well, she decided that she was going to start selling the products like that. She says she's not an entrepreneur, but that's full of crap. She said she was a top seller for Boar's Head. You know what I'm saying? And then she's supposed to be passing out these little meats, right? So she's like, well, maybe I should start selling some of the products and pushing the products that were on sale, right? All of a sudden, wham! Oh crap! They wanted her to do every one, because when she would do a sampling thing, products would sell, because she was sales orientated,
That's right. That's awesome to be able to be that way.
Yeah, she was a wine lady too. She doesn't even drink wine. She had to go sell wine because I got hit by lightning and didn't have a job anymore, right? So she's out there selling stuff she doesn't even do. People are like, oh, she sells all these bottles of wine. So She can do whatever she wants.
Right, that's incredible. I mean, really.
It really helps sell what you like, though. You know, I can sell anything, but if you sell something that you enjoy promoting and you can actually put your desire and your feeling behind it, it sells 10 times faster.
Yeah, absolutely. If you believe in it and it's something that works for you or something like that, yeah. I mean, Chris could sell us all metal because he believes in it, you know?
Right, right.
You look at my room, man. Like, look at, there's a Slipknot flag right there. There's another one like right there on the wall. You know, they're all over the place, man. There's another one over there, and there's another one right there.
Hey, my brother and you would get along well.
Like my favorite band, so of course there's going to be Slipknot
My
flag.
brother and you would get along well. That's all he listens to is all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
Good music. Good music. So I mean, you know, it's been in my life for such a long time. You know, it's just the way it is. It's the only I really connect with that stuff. So.
Well, when I heard with the last show that and why you do what you do, and how it's affected your life and how it was comforted you and stuff, I mean, it was really amazing to me that you sort of bared your soul and told us, you know, why that you're the way you are and why metal's so important to you. So it was really cool to me because I never even thought of it like that, you know, at all, really. You know, it was like more of a religion. Like it was like a religious experience for you, you know.
That's
So,
what it is.
you know,
I've got a collection, like I said, worth over $25,000. So it's
yeah, it
pretty
blew me away. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Totally
pretty
cool.
So anybody want to have any closing thoughts or anything you want to share before we wrap it up? Kareem, what do you think?
I really enjoy just the different perspectives. Rick, Cheryl, Colin,
Yeah.
Carl, thank you for being here. There's no show without you. And I just think that's an amazing gift, Cheryl. You can sell something that you're not even interested in, but I think, you know, we could all sell something, just the passion within it has to be there to make that special gift work. So with that, this is the Entrepreneur Power Hour, a small call to action. If you like this, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, and go to the entrepreneurpowerhour.com and fill your name in the homepage, and then just click get ready or get updates, and you'll get weekly updates in your email for the newsletter, so you can keep rocking on.
we're going to rock this. We're going to rock it. Rick, we're going to rock it.
Heck yes.
Wrap up.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Say
Aloha.
Thank you, Chris.
Mahalo.
Thank you,
I'm right
Chris and
here.
Kareem.
Right here.
And Carl.
Yeah, if it wasn't for all of you, it wouldn't be a power hour.
That's for sure.
Love y'all.
Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Love you.
I appreciate that, Carl.
Alrighty. Switch it off.